Hello, my name is Daryl Gibson and I'm the founder of InnovativeX. Today, I would like to explain why idea development should not be like a trip to Vegas. Person with idea risks everything to become a huge success. You've seen it many times. It's a common story, one boldly printed in countless high-profile business publications and romanticized in movies around the world. Go ahead, roll the dice, drain your retirement accounts, max out your credit card, and while you're at it, get 3 mortgages on your home. After all, you're not a true entrepreneur, innovator, or ideator till you've risked everything. Burn those boats and give yourself no way to retreat. See it enough times and it's easy to believe that embracing a high degree of risk is a required prerequisite to success, a badge of courage, a rite of passage. But is it really necessary? The entire startup industry would have you believe it is. After all, developing ideas is a risky business. Ask most investors and they will tell you that statistically, out of every 10 ideas they invest in, 6 to 7 will fail, 2 to 3 will break even, and 1 to 2 will be home runs that will generate enough profits to justify the other investments. This is a fairly accurate rule of thumb, and these odds paint a very bleak picture. Bear in mind that these are professional investors, many of whom are at the top of their game. Stop the madness, please. It doesn't have to be this way. As someone who foolishly embraced the risk-it-all mentality for many years, only to watch its negative effects on not just myself, but those around me, I feel highly qualified to say there is another way, a better way. But before I share it, let's lay some groundwork with 3 basic assumptions. 1. Risk is inherent in the development of every idea. It can't be avoided. 2. Risk comes in many forms when commercializing an idea, such as human risk, what will people do next, how will they react, financial risk, which is the timing of cash flows, burn rates, insufficient funding, etc., market risk, will the market change or be disrupted to make existing products and services irrelevant, and the list goes on. But I think you get the point. Risk has many faces and they are all ugly. 3. In the development of every idea, there will be failure somewhere along the way. We're humans, it's what we do. This is how we learn, refine the idea, and eventually transform an idea into something marketable. Wow, that's really depressing. No wonder there is so much failure. But there's good news here. There is no need to risk it all, ever. Allow me to repeat it because I know many skeptics out there won't believe it. So there is no need to risk it all, ever. At InnovativeX, we use and teach a strategy for developing ideas that consists of 3 components: risk management, an effective process, and validation. They work hand in hand to increase your chance of success and minimize the risk, but will only succeed if used together. Volumes can be written about each of these components, so we'll stick to the essentials. The first part of our approach is to apply risk management. In the idea development process, failure will present itself eventually, and so the challenge of someone developing an idea is not to just simply develop the idea, it's to develop the idea in the least risky way possible. That way, when the inevitable failure does occur, it doesn't sink the whole ship. Speaking of ships, they said the Titanic was unsinkable. So how does risk management apply to ideas? Let's use the word conception to refer to the birth of an idea. As the word implies, an idea is just a concept at this stage. Let's think of this as point A. We'll use the word commercialization to describe the point in time when the idea is a completely finished product or service as envisioned by its creator. This is point Z. Now imagine that in order to jump from point A to Z, you must jump over a bottomless hole in the ground. If you fail to clear the hole, you will fall in and plummet to your death screaming, "When am I going to hit the ground?" for hours. Spoiler alert, for those who haven't yet figured it out, the hole represents risk. If that hole were only 6 inches wide, most people would feel supremely confident that they could jump over it and safely reach the other side. In fact, if someone didn't clear it, they wouldn't be able to fit down the hole anyway, so the danger is almost non-existent. Theoretically, you could sprain an ankle or break a toenail if you were wearing sandals, so there's always some degree of danger. But what if that hole was 40 feet wide? If someone said they could jump it unassisted, they would be surrounded by small children who would rudely point at them and ridicule them with mean names like crazy idea person. Yet this happens all the time. That is, the people jumping, not the rude kids, as people and companies try to jump from point A to point Z in as few steps as possible. Have you ever been one of these suicidal jumpers? I have. Applying risk management to the idea process consists of dividing that big hole into many smaller, more manageable holes. This is easier said than done because finding point B, then point C, point D, etc. isn't always obvious or easy. These are known as iterations. This approach requires patience and creativity, but with practice, it becomes second nature. And now, when failure makes its appearance, it can be tolerated, dealt with, and we live to come up with ideas another day.